Hello, I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. Today our topic is the present perfect continuous. If you have a question during the class, feel free to write it in the comments and I'll be checking throughout the class and try to answer all of your questions. So let's get started with this topic, okay? The present perfect continuous, it's also called the present perfect progressive, so two different names for this tense. So when do we use it? We use it to talk about something that has happened or something that has been happening at the present time. Okay, so another way to say it, it's an action or a situation which started in the past at an unspecified time until the present moment. So we don't know exactly when it started, but we know that it's continuing now. Okay, how do we form it? So we have the subject plus have or has, according to the subject, plus been, plus the verb with ing. Okay, so let's see some examples. In the affirmative, Mike has been teaching English for 5 years. So here we have the subject Mike has been plus the ing, teaching, and here we specify the time, 5 years. Mike has been teaching for 5 years. So we understand that he started in the past and he is still teaching today. Now let's look at a couple examples in the negative. So remember, when the negative, we need to add the word not to have or has. So has not, hasn't, or have not, haven't. Okay? In this case, I haven't been walking to school lately. So we know that at some point in the past, you stopped walking to school every day or whenever you go, and this is still true in the present. Okay, let's see another example. You haven't been running in my neighborhood this week. So this means that you've noticed over time that you haven't seen this person. So ongoing action. Okay, now let's move on to the interrogative. Remember that the order switches in the interrogative. We start with have or has plus the subject, okay, then been and the verb with ing. So in the interrogative, it goes in the front of the sentence. For example, has she been studying a lot since she arrived in England? Or how long have you been in Australia? So with these question words, we can also use things like how long, for example. Okay, let's see. I have a few people that are joining us. Mustafa, Constanta, Lucia, and Khalid say hello. So thanks for watching and be sure to write your questions in the comments. Okay, now let's look at the interrogative negative. Okay, this is still the interrogative, but when we ask a question in the present perfect continuous in the negative, we're asking for confirmation. Okay, so for example, haven't they been dating since Christmas? So this is when you think you know the answer, but you ask someone for confirmation, so you use the negative, okay? Haven't they been dating since Christmas? So then the person would say, yes, they have, or no, actually, it started before, or it started after. Okay, another example, hasn't she been practicing her English? Okay, so you're expecting the person you asked to confirm yes or no. And one thing to note, we often use for and since with this tense, the present perfect progressive. So the present perfect continuous or progressive is often used with the words for and since to talk about a duration of time. So let's look at a couple different examples. Kevin has been working here for 5 years. Okay, so this shows the duration. Kevin has been working here since 2001. This is saying specific dates when he started, okay? So this is good to note when to use one or the other. Okay, so now that we have learned the present perfect continuous or progressive, let's practice together. So I want you to take what we've just learned and you can write an example in the comments. So feel free in the affirmative, in the negative, interrogative, or all of them together, just try practicing in the comments. So I'll be checking those, and while you're doing that, let me tell you more about our course. At ABBA, we have a complete course from beginners to business level. The course has 144 units. Each unit has a short film. It starts with a short film, and then you learn the grammar through the video class, and then you practice your speaking, your listening, your reading, and your writing skills. So you practice all of those skills in each unit of the course. If you want to learn more about what it means to be free or premium, how to sign up, how to download the app or our web version, you can go to our website, abbaenglish.com, and there you can find all of the information that you need. So if you don't study with us already and you want to review grammar points like this, like the present perfect continuous, then feel free to do that with us. Okay, and just a reminder, we're on all of the social media networks, so Facebook, as you know, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So check those out because we are posting new content every day so you can learn something every day with us here at AB English. I see someone has already written an example. Freeman said they have been building the bridge for 5 months. Okay, that is a really good example. So we know what time they started 5 months ago and what have they been doing, building a bridge. So that is a really good example. If anyone else wants to share, then please feel free to. As you're doing that, let me just tell you what we're going to be talking about next week. I'm going to have a special guest, someone who works with me here at ABBA, and we're going to be talking about all of the features of the ABBA course, specifically the app. So that is going to be interesting for you, especially if you haven't used the course before. Okay, I see we have another comment from Mohammed. You have been explaining the present perfect tense for 5 minutes. Okay, that is a really good example. Very true. Okay, well done, Mohammed. Thank you for participating. Okay, let's see if there are any other comments or questions. Yes, okay, so I'll just wait for someone to post those. Okay, so feel free to keep practicing. That is the best way to learn and to write correctly, okay, by participating in the comments. Salim says, I have been teaching English since 2009. Okay, is that true, Salim? Are you an English teacher? If so, that's great. I have also been teaching English since 2009, so we have that in common. Very good. Okay, so I see we have a couple more comments here. I will just wait a couple of seconds for them to be posted. Fantastic. Okay, Falaki asks, what is the difference between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous? Okay, the difference between the present perfect and present perfect continuous, the continuous is ongoing, whereas the present perfect is an action that started in the past but is finished, but it's still true. So for example, I have been to Germany. Okay, this is a trip that you took in the past, but because it's happened, you can still say today, I have been to Germany. But then in the present perfect continuous, you could say something like, I have been traveling to Germany every summer for 5 years. So if it's an ongoing action, you use the continuous. If it's a finished action, then we use the present perfect. Okay, I hope that cleared up your doubt. I think we have one more comment. Okay, so some really good questions today and good examples. All right. Freeman asks, is it okay to say, how have you been doing? Yes. So you can say, if you want to shorten it in casual conversation, you can say to someone, how have you been? But it's implied that the doing is at the end of the sentence. So that's absolutely correct. How have you been doing is another way to ask someone how they are. So very good example, Freeman. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, if there are no more questions at this time, then I want to thank everyone for your participation. Oops, okay, well, the last slide just says see you next time, so no big deal. So I want to thank everyone and remind you again, so next week I will be with a special guest talking about the app features of our ABBA course, so some really interesting things that you may not know. And thanks again for all your participation. Some really good questions today. Remember that you can find all of our previous classes in the video section, so you can go there. If you're just starting to join the live streaming classes, you have tons and tons of classes that you can catch up on. So check that out. And thanks again. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.